What is circumstantial evidence in legal cases? Have you ever wondered how a case can be built without a witness directly seeing a crime? This is where circumstantial evidence comes into play. Circumstantial evidence is a type of evidence that does not directly prove a fact. Instead, it requires the court to make logical inferences to establish that fact. Unlike direct evidence, which clearly shows a fact, circumstantial evidence relies on reasoning to connect various pieces of information. For instance, imagine finding a suspect's fingerprint at a crime scene. This fingerprint suggests that the suspect was present, but it does not directly prove they committed the crime. In courtrooms, circumstantial evidence can take many forms. It may include motive, opportunity, or behavior after an offense, such as fleeing or lying. It can also involve possession of tools or weapons and forensic findings like deoxyribonucleic acid or ballistics. Each piece of circumstantial evidence alone might not conclusively prove guilt. However, when multiple pieces align and exclude other reasonable explanations, they can collectively support a strong inference of guilt or innocence. Judges and juries must carefully distinguish between reasonable inferences drawn from circumstantial evidence and mere speculation. The law requires that for a conviction based solely on circumstantial evidence, the evidence must be strong enough that the only reasonable conclusion is the defendant's guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. If the evidence only suggests suspicious behavior without conclusively pointing to guilt, the defendant should be acquitted. Circumstantial evidence is treated as valid and admissible in both federal and state courts. It can be sufficient to convict someone even without direct evidence. However, because it relies on inference, courts often provide specific jury instructions. These instructions emphasize that all circumstances must be consistent and collectively point conclusively to guilt. In practical courtroom application, circumstantial evidence plays a critical role, especially when direct evidence is unavailable. It requires judges and jurors to apply logic, common sense, and experience to evaluate probabilities, ruling out coincidences and alternative explanations. This type of evidence is common in criminal trials and is often supported by forensic expert testimony, witness observations of related behavior, and physical evidence indirectly linked to the crime. Overall, circumstantial evidence is a fundamental part of legal argumentation in courtrooms. It enables the establishment of facts through inference when direct proof is lacking. Its proper use demands careful judicial scrutiny to ensure fair and just outcomes.